This is Jerry Lynn, and I'm going to create a sensation mongering at inyourheadonline.com.
And we're back, and as promised, we're joined for the second time in Your Head history by the king of old school, Steve Corino. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. We've actually heard a rumor that you're not using the name anymore, King of Old School. Is that true?
Yes or no. Yes and no. You know what? Believe it or not, I've never been the King of Old School in Japan. It was something like, I don't know if the translation didn't go or, they just didn't care about it or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, I'm just, on the indies in the States and England and stuff like that, I'm the King of Old School. But it's in reality, Vince owns the name. So I just used it until I get a letter from WWE legal.
Well, what do you use in Japan? Just Steve Corino?
Steve Corino. Yeah,
no nickname?
Actually, Steven Corino, they go real proper. Yeah. They call me a bunch of bad names, too. But
yeah, we don't want to mention those.
They forget that I understand what they're saying.
Have you learned to speak Japanese?
I can get around, I do pretty well. I still want to learn more, and, it's an amazing language. It's real tough. It's like two of the toughest languages is, Japanese and Finnish. And of course, I work in Japan and I married a Finn, so, I'm like a glutton for punishment.
Well, let everybody know you got the big show coming up this weekend, January 7th. Rebirth of Destruction. That's going to be in Pottstown, Pennsylvania at the Academy Hall, 7 p.m. bell time. And for more information, you can visit worldwrestling.com.
Yep, World One Wrestling.
World One Wrestling. I forgot the one.
But yeah. This Sunday's big show. Actually, the 2:00 show, which is a girls' show.
Mm-hmm.
The guys' show is at 7:00. And if you're an Eagles fan, there's plenty of time. The girls' show will be over 4:15. The guys' show starts at 7. You can go have a couple beers, watch the Eagles game in between shows, and it's going to be amazing. We have the Magic Foundation, the Morgan Arthur Jr. Inspirational Center charity behind us, and I'm really looking forward to it. After running shows for almost 6 years in Pottstown, this is like the first time I've really ever been excited about, producing a show.
And I guess the money's going to charity, or a percentage of it?
Percentage of the sponsors and the tickets go to the Magic Foundation for the Spring Valley YMCA. And what it does is it builds we're trying to build a kids-only gym where, kids can train and learn about nutrition and diet and become role models. Today's kids, obesity is such that's a factor that's going to be like a heart disease later when they're 30 or 40 years old. So, we're trying to get them young and get them into the gym and learn how to do stuff and, teach other kids. So, these kids have role models instead of, the TV. Nothing against TV because I'm the biggest TV watcher in the world. But, we want these kids to go where they can go and hang out and be role models and really be a part of the community.
Yeah, actually, right before you called in, before you came on, we had a caller who's 12 years old, and he was telling us he was eating steaks for, breakfast.
Eat steaks for breakfast?
Yeah.
He says he weighs about 140 pounds.
How tall is he?
I don't know. He doesn't sound very tall.
He doesn't sound very tall.
He doesn't sound very tall.
I've got 2 ears. I can tell that kind of thing.
Yeah. See, I only have one, so, he probably would have sounded about 90 pounds to me.
Exactly. He's trying to learn 2 incredibly complex languages with 1 ear.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's a problem. Once these kids realize that, it comes too late, once the metabolism kicks in and, the bad habits, and you can eat junk food all you want, but as long as you're working out and replacing it, you don't, do it to excess, of course, but, there's a healthy way to live where you could be healthy. I mean, we're not trying to build Chris Masters in every kid in the world, but, we're trying to get them healthy and trying to get them part of the community. So that kid may want to check out the Magic Foundation.
We got a caller here. Who is this?
It's Jason from out of the message board.
Hey, Jason. You're on there with Steve Corino. You got a question?
Yeah, I have one. And first, I'd like to say to Mr. Corino that you're one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, and that
very much.
And one of my favorite moments with you, promo-wise, happened in ECW in 2000. when you cut Just Incredible off and told him that his catchphrase was the lamest in wrestling history. I still laugh about that.
I was actually there that night. Huntington, West Virginia.
You know what? That was actually a off the cuff. Like Paul was a real big believer in not having scripted promos. He gave you an outline and then you went with what, and that was something that was in my mind at that moment to say. And I don't know if Justin was upset about it. He never said he was, but like a lot of the boys laughed at it because I think a lot of them wanted to say it because Paul loved that catchphrase, but Paul didn't like it.
I just want to bring up something real quick. Does that make you proud when people remember something like specifically that you did?
Oh, absolutely, because everybody wants to be remembered. Wrestlers, they sit there and say they don't read the internet or don't read the message boards or full of crap. Everybody wants to be remembered because that's why we got into it because. Professional wrestlers were such big stars and big heroes and stuff like that, and you wanted to be it. You wanted to be Superman or the Incredible Hulk and stuff like that. So when somebody remembers something that you did, whether it be small or big, to me it's such a great honor that they actually remembered. I haven't been on major TV in 6 years in the United States, and people still come up to me at indie shows and say, "Hey, I remember when you did this, and I remember when you did that," and now, that makes me feel real good because, after ECW closed, I made a career in Japan and stuff like that. So, I'm not on TV here. And it makes me feel good that people in the States still remember and they still, appreciate what I did.
Are you glad you went on to do some other things after ECW? Because, I don't know, it seems like some of the ECW guys kind of became typecast as, ECW guys.
Yeah, I was definitely, because... ECW was I always looked at ECW as a stepping stone for me. And I think a lot of people do too. I talked to Nova about this, a couple of years ago. He had always looked at ECW as a stepping stone because he always wanted to work in the office of, and, voila, look at him now. He's got the dreamer's job. And, I always looked at WCW, or ECW as a way to either go to WCW eventually or WWE. I knew WWE would never really be my style, so I never really thought about it. And but when I got the chance to go to Japan, that was my ultimate goal because as a kid, I had watched Georgia Championship Wrestling and UWF would come on in the Philadelphia area and stuff like that. But there was a kid in my inner circle that used to get these Japan tapes, and he would totally not tell me where he got them from and. These are the days before the internet too. So
right.
Here's this guy, and I'm watching Hashimoto and Muda and Chono and even Baba and Jumbo Shiruda and a young Masala and Kawada, and I'm like, wow, this is where I want to be. And I saw the respect of the old tapes with Hanson and Brody and Destroyer, and that was my WWE.
I think we still have Jason here. What was your question? Sorry, forgot about you.
It's all right. My question to Mr. Corino is, how does it feel to know that a lot of people hold you in the same esteem in Japan as Hanson and Brody?
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know if anybody does that. I think I have a couple fans in there that do, but I think they're my personal friends. But, to me, Hanson and Brody are, so much further than what I'll ever be. I've done... I think it's 58 tours now, and it's the impact that Brody and Hanson had over there compared to the impact that I've had over there is apples and oranges. But when somebody does say that, oh wow, people will remember you over there like they remember Brody, Hanson, Destroyer, Blassie. I go, wow, what a circle to be in.
Oh yeah, there's a highlight for Incher and I were the Capitol Wrestling Fan Fest and. We happened to get in the elevator, and we looked behind us, and here was Stan Hansen.
Oh, yeah, he looked like such a killer back in the day and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's the nicest looking dude. Yeah. He's got a big smile on his face. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you have another question, Jason? Because we actually have quite a few callers here.
Oh, no. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Anybody else who's trying to call in, try to call back in now. You guys got a question for the board?
Let's see. Emperor of Boredom, he wants to know, could you see yourself booking WWE Japanese tours in the future or becoming an agent or producer for ECW?
Believe it or not, you guys will probably break the story. I actually sent in my resume maybe 3 months ago to do stuff like that. And, that's something I'm definitely interested in. I'm definitely interested in sooner, not later, because, the older I get, the more my body broke down. My body breaks down. So, I want to be on the other side of the fence instead of being in the ring. I'd like to produce and I'd like to help produce their shows over there and work with the guys over there. And I would love to be an agent for, WWE or even TNA. I think, I have enough experience in different styles. And, I've booked a few companies and stuff like that. So I definitely think that I have something to give creatively.
We should get another caller here. Who is this?
This is Danny in Georgia.
All right, you're on there with Steve Corino. You got a question?
Yeah, Corino, when are you going to come back and visit all your fans here with World 1 South?
I will be back March 9th and 10th for the old school tag team tournament.
I bet Jody will piss his pants when he finds out you put that out before he did.
Nah, Jody pisses his pants. He won't really realize it because he's so big and heavy. I love, since you know what Jody Peterman is, and I'll tell everybody else, Jody Peterman is my partner for World 1 South, and Jody's the nicest guy in the world, and he's a lawyer in real life and stuff like that. But Jody Peterman is the clone of Peter Griffith from Family Guy.
Nice.
Happy New Year, Corino. We'll see you when you get here.
Happy New Year, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, man. You guys have any question for the board?
Like,
Does he?
His chin looks like a feta,
That's a hell of a tag team partner.
Finley Effect, he has a question. Do you ever get tired of the ever-present racism existence in Japanese pro wrestling?
Yeah, because going in, but, I was told, even before I started that, for being gaijin, there's a glass ceiling. And if you know that going in, then you really, with Japan, I've done more things, and, I even get to work in the office, and, that was more than I ever thought that I would ever be able to do. As far as pushes and stuff like that, there was a couple times when, I thought, wow, I got some steam going, and then boom, you get cut off. But, you just, you know that going in, so you don't really get too upset about it. They're amazing people, but the reality of the situation is that you're there to, lose to the Japanese, and, that's who the people want, they want to see, the Americans lose to the Japanese.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at, like, WWE or most big wrestlings, they don't really use the Japanese guys in the greatest roles either.
Oh, I know, and it's a shame because, they got the Japanese talent and work ethic is amazing, and a lot of them are looking for the opportunity to be, that superstar in the United States. Most American fans just, they know Muda, or they knew Tajiri, or, on a smaller note, Funaki or Kenzo or something like that. But, the Japanese talent of a Kojima or a Kensuke or a Sujiro Otani, those are guys that are major draws, but, the American casual fan, not the person that's listening to the radio now, or the person that comes to my show on Sunday that's just coming because, they got a ticket, and they just want to see two guys beat each other up. They don't know how good, like, that wrestling is, and I think that there's definitely a market for it. I think there's definitely a market for more Mexican wrestlers, too, so, where the racism, and I hate to use that word, but the racism is in the Japanese wrestling, it's the same in America, the Japanese and the Mexicans will always hit that glass ceiling over in sports entertainment world.
Definitely. We got another caller here. Who is this?
Hello?
Yep, you're on the air with,
Hey, this is Chris, and I don't eat steak for breakfast.
Oh.
Then don't say it on the radio.
I didn't say I had steak for breakfast.
You got a question for Steve?
Yeah, I actually have two. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay. One, I wanted to know, would he ever consider going to ECW? And two, what was it like losing hearing in his ears? Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Okay, the first one was, would I work in ECW?
Mm-hmm.
In the new one?
The new one.
You know what? It's not been talked about, but I would like to be in the creative department of it. I think that I understand the whole philosophy that the true ECW fans hate the product, but I hold a little stock in WWE so that I get to see the reports every year. To the WWE, the ECW is a brand, just like SmackDown or Raw, and if you know that going in, then you can say, all right, let's make this the best brand possible. And I definitely think that they could make it different than SmackDown and Raw and make it very, very enjoyable for the fans and make it a really good hour of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second question? Short-term memory.
Well, it was asked about losing hearing in the ear.
It sucks. You get used to it though. It's getting hit in the ear. It's been 3.5 years now, so I'm used to it. And if I got to hear again, that would be wonderful. But it's a really big procedure, and it's going to take time. And they have to actually replace things in my ear to even have a percentage of my hearing back. So until I'm done wrestling, I don't think I'm going to get it done.
There's a rumor recently that Homicide was complaining about his ear in a match with Kurt Angle. Do you think there's any karma there?
No, it was just the $20 bill that I sent Kurt Angle. I mean, no, you know what? I think Homicide, and this is coming from other guys, because when I read it, I'm like, wow, there's something that's more to that. I think that Homicide thought, and I'm not talking for Homicide, but I think Homicide thought that Kurt was being careless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where even though me and Homicide don't see eye to eye, it was $1 million shot that hit me.
You think he was?
So I think Homicide did it on purpose?
No. I was saying, do you think he was a good decision to put the Ring of Honor title on him?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, he deserves it. He's the most over guy, and he's been there since the beginning. And I definitely think it was the right time.
We got a caller here. Who is this? I think you got your show turned up.
Sorry about that, guys. This is Goosey. Just wanted to ask a question for Steve.
Okay.
What his thoughts on the new guys in ECW, like that they're pushing, like Great Khali and Kevin Thorne? Do you think they should be there, or do you think Vince McMahon should leave?
Like I said a little bit earlier, I look at ECW as just a different brand. The ECW that I was in is totally different than the ECW that Tex is in. And I also look at it as the theory of, Dale Gagne's AWA is not the same as Vern Gagne's AWA, but it's the same lineage. And, NWA TNA is not Crockett's NWA, but it's the same lineage, and it's a different product, and I hate to say evolution of the product, but it's what sees ECW. I think the business end is that Vince sees ECW as a way to sell the old DVDs, which makes his money back from the bankruptcy that he bought, and he sees it as if he brings this product out to the casual fan that's going to be walking through Target and seeing the ECW, Volume 72 DVD, and they'll go, wow, I bet I see this on Tuesday night. And, who's this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and, when they turn it on, they see Test and Kevin Thorne and stuff like that. But I just think it needs to be different than SmackDown or Raw, like, totally different. How, like, TNA is totally different than Raw, I definitely think, like, ECW would have to be totally different from SmackDown and Raw.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that is kind of the point of the brand splits, is if you're going to split the brands, all of them should be different.
Absolutely. I think that makes it more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Yep.
Speaking of different, how would you say World 1 is different from your typical wrestling?
With World 1, my theory is like old school to death. One of the reasons I don't run the bigger cities like Philadelphia or stuff like that, because Philadelphia is more of a, you know, they like their PWUs and their CZWs and their ROHs, more to a fan, and I use this in seminars, it's a believability. A fan of CZW, ROH, and PWU have a believability of around 10%, where, you know, I market to more of the country towns where it's more of a casual fan who looks at wrestling as, you know, most of them will look at it as 100% real. So the believability is much higher, and, you know, it's much easier on my body, but it's just a different product. It's very old school with a taste of Japanese wrestling in there. We make the title matches are very important. You know, we play the national anthem before the main event, especially if it's two different countries that are represented. We have the 20 count instead of the 10 count. We have the over-the-top rope DQ. I mean, there's so many different ways to go with it, where I like to give clean finishes, but I like to do more of the never-ending story. I want them to come back the next show. I want them to follow it. I want them to get into our characters, where we'll have a serious guy like Josh Daniels, but we'll have, you know, a sports entertainer like Nick Burke, who, when Nicky Benz, but when he's Nick Burke, he's Mr. Poet. Excuse me. And when he is, you know, entertaining, he's Nicky Benz, and crowd's getting into it. And right now, I'll be the first to admit it, as a booker, you know, I'm throwing crap against the wall and seeing what sticks. You know, I want to see how a Sterling James Keenan and the Rick Converse are going to get over as heels in World 1, as opposed to when Sterling James Keenan and Rick Converse may wrestle in North Carolina for the AWA. They're big baby faces. And, you know, it's definitely something, and it's a lot of fun, and if you saw our crowd, it's very like, it's almost like a southern crowd in a northeast atmosphere.
Do you have more fun in front of a crowd like that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's easier for me because they're so. What's the best way to say it? Being an artist, like the picture isn't painted for them yet. Where an ROH or a PWU or a CZW, those fans are so into it that they know it's almost, they know that there's magic, and they think they know how the magic's made, so the believability is not there. Whereas this place is, they may know it's magic, but they don't know how the magic's made. So you have a more of an array of things to do, where CZW, PWU, and ROH is work. You know, World 1, you can play around a little bit, and you can feel it out, and you can see which style's going to work. Some guys are going to have to really work their butts off, or King Kalu and Larry Sweeney can come out there and do nothing for 15 minutes, and you'll hear the crowd go crazy, you know. But maybe a Samoa Joe and Bryan Danielson might not work in Potsdam because the crowd doesn't understand it like an ROH crowd would understand it. So it's definitely a different style.
We had Larry Sweeney on last week. He's definitely a favorite here on In Your Head.
Oh, he's amazing. He's amazing.
He said the same thing. The shows that are most fun for him are where you get out in the sticks, and you can find sticks anywhere in any country that you go to somewhere. They're there. You just have to find them, and just get out in front of a couple of drunks who want to tear that pansy apart. That's fun.
That's coming from the pansy.
That's yeah. Thank you. One of our fans from the message board, Old School, gets a little poetic when he says, as the song says, if there's a rock and roll heaven, then you know they've got a hell of a band. If there's a wrestling heaven, then you know they've got a hell of a show. What would be the main event of the card, in your opinion?
In wrestling heaven? I think Owen Hart's probably maybe the only wrestler in heaven. No, you know what? This is a game that some of the boys play, and it's pretty morbid. But yeah, you think of like who's in wrestling hell and who's in wrestling heaven. You know what? Hell has an awesome team, if you think about it.
Yeah.
They have a WrestleMania for, you know, millennium compared, you know, guys are, oh man, wrestling heaven.
Well, there's Ultimate Old School right there, because they're keeping the heels and the faces apart.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That is a good question, though. I did like that.
Yeah, it is a very good question. But yeah, anything with Owen Hart in it.
We got a question here in our chat room. Andy wants to know, in your time in 1PW, how was your time in 1PW, and would you like to come back to the UK?
I love the UK. I love the 1PW fans, but I will never be back there. I'll be back in the UK eventually. I hope. If Alex James listening, I'm available for bookings. Oh, excuse me. My son just gave me a cracker, and I think it was poison. But yeah, the 1PW, to me, 1PW means, it was almost like ECW. 1PW wasn't about the staff, it was about the wrestlers and the fans. I jumped off, I was booking it for a while, I jumped off when the iceberg got hit. You know in Titanic, when the guy yelled out, and the British guy on the radio probably said that, iceberg straight ahead. That was more Australian, but, you know, I could do probably a good crocodile hunter. But when he said iceberg, before ice got out of his mouth, I was jumping over. Because there's a guy that runs 1PW, and I don't know if people read like WrestleMag or stuff like that. I mean, it's a shame because the 1PW fans hate WrestleMag. But the WrestleMag guy has done like investigative reporting. And the guy that runs 1PW is just, you know, awful human being. And, you know, he owes a lot of money to my Japanese travel agent that, you know, my 01's probably going to end up having to pay because, you know, we recommended the owner for this. And the guy makes excuses, and it's almost funny to see what excuses this guy makes. And, you know, the big thing was, you know, this week, you know, I sat with Muda and got the Muda while I was still booking. I wanted to do Muda versus Sterling and Keenan. Okay, I'll be honest. I wanted to do me versus Muda, but Muda wanted to do it in Japan first. I said, oh, yeah, great, we work to do this in different companies. But as soon as, I couldn't do it for me, I said, you know, I want to put, you know, you against Sterling James Keenan. He was fine with it, and, you know, I got him down to a price that was doable in the 1PW owner's mind. Mm-hmm. And, but, you know, the idea was that, you know, you have to fly in business class, and, you know, he's Muda, for God's sake. You know, mm-hmm. I'm surprised he doesn't want his own plane. And, you know, everything's fine until, you know, then things weren't going right. You know, me and the TNA guys' pay was really late, you know, for the anniversary show that had 1,800 people. You know, 1,800 paid. The afternoon show had 800 people. I mean, this guy had the money. I don't know if he was accidentally smoking the money or, you know, it just disappeared in thin air or something like that. But, you know, our travel agent didn't get paid. We were late. And there's always excuses. You know, apparently the bank that he works with in England doesn't know what they're doing because they can't put a wire through and they don't know what the wire number is. And I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just hoping that their show comes off because, you know, SJK deserves to have that match with Muda. And it ended up where Kikutaro had to pay for the Japanese guy's flight to come over. And so, you know, the second I heard that, I asked Kikutaro, I said, is this a true story? He's like, yeah, yes, I had to pay. Because if this guy screws them on the flight, Kikutaro is responsible. And, you know, it's just a shame. The 1PW fans and wrestlers deserve much better because it's an awesome show, it's an awesome atmosphere, and those 1PW fans are so great. You know, very, very cool guys. Angles.
Somebody emailed and just said, tell Steve I said hi. And that's Peter Staniforth. I don't know if you know him or not.
He's from England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have quite a following in England. I'm like the Beatles in England.
I think that guy's ignored some of my emails over the past.
See, you got to get on him now. Now you know he's online.
I'll just drop Steve Corino's name.
Yeah.
You got a question, Incher?
Old school from message board. Yeah, he has a rather strange question, but it's what's your favorite move that you've never done?
Oh, anything in ROH. You know what? I consider myself I'll never say that I'm a 5-star match wrestler, but I will say that I'm a good worker because I can work a match and can tell a story.
Oh, yeah.
I will watch an ROH DVD and I will get blown up watching it going, oh my God, look at the stuff that these guys do. It is absolutely amazing, the stuff that they do. And I get blown up watching it going, how do they not, you know, end up, you know, dying of exhaustion? I'm exhausted before I get to the ring anymore. But, yeah, anything that Robert Strong does, anything that Bryan Danielson does, yeah, all stuff that I can't do. Yeah, it's a plethora of things. Any ROH TV that I'm not on, you watch that, and we can make a list of those that I like that I can't do.
Now, we've heard that you're a big fan of the movie Rocky.
Love Rocky.
What did you think the new one?
Don't tell me. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. We won't give out any spoilers then.
Yeah, I have to see. I have to see. Like, people will talk about it, and I'll be yelling, I can't hear it. You know, Ricky Landell, my partner, went and saw it. He took my sister-in-law from Finland. My sister-in-law from Finland has seen Rocky 6. And I haven't seen it yet, so I'm dying to see it.
Yeah, my brother and I took my mother to see it, and she's a huge fan of all the Rockies, and she was telling everybody at work that if Rocky Balboa died, she was calling in sick the next day.
Wow.
So I won't tell you if she called in sick or not.
Okay. Yeah, so I thought you gave me a spoiler. I've been avoiding the internet. Like, I go on internet, like the chat room or something like that. I'm like, oh God, I can't see what the Rocky spoilers are. Yeah, I'm a big nerd when it comes to movies and TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big nerd in general.
I always thought the original Rocky is a perfect wrestling movie, like for someone who wants to book a wrestling story.
Yeah, it's a match. It's how a match should be done.
Mm-hmm.
Even two, Rocky 1 and 2. And I tell people all the time in these seminars and at my dojo, what was the best thing about Rocky? He went at the end.
Right.
But he went the distance, which means that he won the hearts of the people, which got him the rematch, which got him the sequel, which means that you paid more money.
Right.
It's the perfectly booked angle, you know, where we do Mission Impossible 2 because it was cool, Mission Impossible 1 was cool, but you know, if you saw Mission Impossible 2, you really didn't have to see 1. You have to see Rocky 1 to see Rocky 2.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm more excited about it now.
Let's go and see Rocky 6.
Oh, I have to.
You had another question, didn't you, Incher?
I was going to ask about the you're going to get your fucking head kicked in chant from the Buffalo Stampede ROH DVD, your match with Bryan Danielson. You look pretty disappointed when that chant was called out.
You know what I was disappointed with? I can't believe that he actually got the crowd to say it. I mean, that's a big chant. And now, am I right that that's an English football chant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking, no, did you just think stuff as you were going along? It was an awesome chant.
Yeah, there's a skit on Conan O'Brien, basically, like that, where they just make up this long chant.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't believe it, especially, Buffalo. I like it.
We get another caller here. Who is this?
Hey, it's Jason again. I had another question.
All right.
I was wondering if Steve could tell the story about when they were playing baseball in Japan and C.W. Anderson got pissed and beaned a poor kid.
Yeah, this is a true story. I was there. I think me and Loki were talking about it a couple weeks ago, and it was a rare time when Loki laughed. I was sitting there and I'm a big baseball market, and CW was actually drafted by the San Diego Padres as a catcher, and I think it was 80. He's going to be 36 on Sunday. Happy birthday, CW. So I think it was 88 or 89. He was drafted by the Padres. So he has this drive when it comes to baseball. Like, he becomes insane. You can ask him to lose a wrestling match to an ant, and he will do it. You cannot show him up when you're playing baseball. So we get to this Japanese town, and this was like a small town, and we got there real early for a Sunday show. I think our show was 5 o'clock, but we got there at 9 o'clock in the morning. And there was this baseball team, and they were about maybe 10 to 12 years old practicing, and the ring truck driver walked over and said, hey, these two guys are big baseball fans, can they practice with you? And they let us practice. And, I went to shortstop, and CW went to the outfield because he's got this awesome arm. CW is 36 years old, can still throw 85 miles an hour, and accurate. So, the first ball that comes to me, I can't get it out of my glove. And the second one that comes to me, same exact play, I throw it into right field, trying to double play. And I swear to God, the kid called me stupid. Right? And he said it like under his breath, like I couldn't understand it. I'm like, wait a second. This 10-year-old just called me stupid. And so CW's got to go and pitch. To paint the picture, Wild Thing came on in his mind, and if you ever seen CW, it's like the size of a giant basketball. The Wild Thing came in his mind, and he took the walk to the mound and everything. He took his warm-up pitches, Glory Days from Bruce Springsteen came on the radio now. And he is firing these pitches in at 85 miles an hour. I stood up the plate with him, and I heard it go by me. I couldn't even see it. And so the coach's son, who may have been 14, 15, steps up to the plate, and CW's firing by. Well, CW starts getting real cocky and throws his knuckleball. Well, the knuckleball didn't knuckle. And this kid hit it to China. And he did the run around the bases and everything. And, there's 15 kids on the team cheering him on. And, it was funny for me because you could just tell all the blood was going through his head. And I'm thinking, wow, CW's hot that, this kid hit a home run off of him. So the kid steps into the plate, into the box again. And I could just see something like a glaze in CW's eyes, kind of like when Chuck Liddell goes after, Tito Ortiz, there's that glaze in his eyes. And with slow motion, I'm like, no. W takes a fastball and beams this kid in the middle of the back. Right? To a point where, that was going to be a brawl. It was going to be me against a bunch of me and CW against a bunch of 12-year-olds. I mean, we would have got our asses beat. And he looked at me and goes, I go, well, what are you doing? He goes, and he shows me up. Oh my God! Yes, and Jiro Otani, who was watching in disbelief and horror, walked over and explained to the we were kicked off the field at this point. We were ejected. I don't know why I was ejected. See, there's the racism we were talking about again. We were kicked off the field, and Otani had to go over and apologize to the team and let the whole team in for free. CW Hashimoto, as soon as he heard the story, changed the card. CW was in the main event. It was me and CW against Hashimoto and Babyface to be named later. And I knew what finishes were coming around. Hashimoto up, CW down. You would have thought that Cena beat K-Fed. When CW took the DDT for the 1-2-3, not only did the crowd, and we had a great house, I think, you could hear that baseball team yelling, yeah! CW is a big deal in that small town in Japan.
That's a good idea for getting heat. Just before the show, you go rough up some kids locally. That might catch on.
Yeah, Big Willie Busick used to steal kids' popcorn for the show.
ECW, man, he should be doing a baseball gimmick with ECW and just throw at people. Yeah.
We're big fans of CW Anderson. That's actually our first ever guest on In Your Head.
Yeah, it was.
Awesome guy.
With a shaved ass, apparently.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Ryron here in our chat room, he wants to know what was going through your head when Homicide and the Rottweilers shaved your head.
God, I hope I don't look horrible bald. And you know what it is I'm not friends with Homicide, and I'm not friends with Julius Smoke, but I am friends with Ricky Reyes. And, it was an emotional time because, I gave up my hair for the end of the feud, and it's funny that I thought a lot of the ROH fans would get that. Like, wow, this is the end. This is the final chapter. There's not going to be another Corino Homicide. This was the end. This was me showing my respect. You're very Mexican style. And, I thought that they would get that a little more than they did. They kind of crapped. They crapped all over it. Some people got it, but, they crapped all over it. But Ricky Reyes was trying to make me laugh the whole time. And, during the match, Homicide had cut my ear open, and it was filled up with fluid already. And, I almost had the cauliflower ear, which it would have been disgusting for me because with all the scars I am, if I get cauliflower ears, I'm going to be totally ugly. I'm going to look like Takayama. And so yeah, I didn't want to do that. I had to get it done and make sure that it was drained out every day and stuff like that. But yeah, Ricky Reyes tried to make me laugh, and I remember that as God, I want to go home. I was bald, and my wife liked it because in her mind she was cheating on me then. She's looking at me right now, just shaking her head.
You can always get a bald wig.
Yeah, you know what, man, this quick story. I was going to stay bald. It was going to be like my new thing. I was going to get new gear and do stuff. But I was at my buddy's wedding, and the reception was at the Citizens Bank Park where the Phillies played, and he had the Philly Fanatic there. Big mark for the Philly Fanatic. He comes out, and he's dancing around, and my buddy, who's getting married, is bald. He comes right up to us, and the Philly Fanatic's not supposed to talk, by the way, and I hear, "Ooh!" He rubbed our heads. like I was a genie. Like, that's it. Bringing the hair back.
Let everybody know again about the big show this weekend. And check it out, world1wrestling.com at Pottstown, Pennsylvania. What was that?
Number one, not O-N-E.
What?
WORLD, the number one, WRESTLING.com.
Right. That's what I said, wasn't it? Oh, okay. Let's go spell it out for everybody.
I was trying to get another plug-in.
Oh, okay. We're all about
World Wrestling, World1Wrestling.com.
Yeah, with the number one. Even then somebody will say it again, and you get a second plug.
Oh, man.
And then they say it quizzically to make sure they got it right. World1Wrestling.com?
Yeah, it's all marketing. It's all marketing.
Okay, well...
Maybe I got to say it again, World1Wrestling.com with the number one. Oh, yeah. Like World One. Oh. Yeah, and it's Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Tickets 484-938-7045. Or you can PayPal and come pick them up on Sunday. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have pizza. Hey, pizza and wrestling. What else is good? A girls tournament during the afternoon. Guys tournament at night. Me versus Rick Congress for the AWA title. Ricky Landau versus Sterling James Keenan for the World One title. The Patriot Mike Keener, who was old ECW referee and who has lost 10 pounds for this match, against King Carew and everybody's favorite Larry Sweeney for the PWF Tag Team title. It's going to be great. ROH students, Shane Hagedorn, and more. World1Wrestling.com.
Oh. If you
World1Wrestling.com. And the big thing, and on a serious note, the Magic Foundation is the recipient of a percentage of the ticket sales and the sponsor. So, not only are you coming out to see wrestling and it's cheap, it's only $12 for general admission, $5 for kids. You get to help out a really, really good cause.
Mm-hmm. So everybody check that out. And I believe the website's world1wrestling.com.
Yeah, with the number one. See? There we go.
Right.
Well, plug-in machine.
Another place you work for is the AWA. I was just wondering if you caught the AWA DVD.
You know what? I stole it from my sister, and of course she had the first disc in her DVD player, so I've only seen the extras yet, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favoriits.
Yeah.
They put out for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. My sister's coming up for the World One shows this week. Oh, I'm definitely rifling through her bag.
I think you tried a question about your sister.
I was just wondering what you thought whenever your sister first got into wrestling.
I thought, oh, man. No way. But you know what? She's done good for herself. She's really learned, and she's gotten to do a lot of things, and Chris Daniels has been such a great influence, and Hero and Claudio, and she's really learned from a lot of people, and, she's gone to Japan a couple times, and she's even gone to China. I haven't gone to China. Mm-hmm. And she's doing really good.
I thought Intra was going to ask her if she would date a wrestling fan from West Virginia.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Oh, man.
The name like 1 inch biceps, who wouldn't?
No, she's easy. She likes skinny guys.
Too bad I'm not skinny.
You know my wife can't say West Virginia?
Say what?
My wife can't say West Virginia. We went down to the show that Man Pondo was running. Is it IWA
East Coast, right?
Yeah. And my wife's Finnish, and to her, West Virginia is West Vagina. And I'm taking it out of her hand. And she's sitting here now red-faced.
That's prime real estate for jokes in West Virginia.
Well, it was the same week she was telling my mom that she had a perm. And she got a perm. First we went to West Vagina on Wednesday, and then she had a perm in her hair. I was like, what? Yeah.
It's a typical weekend for the incher.
Yeah, and she's like, perm. My mom thought she said
Another question there, Barbie?
Let's see what we got. Rio Speed Granillo, for some reason, would like to know your opinion on Stevie Richards.
Stevie Richards? Richards is awesome. He's one of those really nice guys. Another guy that's so underrated is other CW. I'm glad that Stevie's had a job for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But man, if they let him talk and they let him be Stevie Richards and stuff like that, man, he could draw. He would be somebody that you would go and pay a ticket to see. And this is why I should be writing there. The guy, if anybody's listening to the show, call Vince McMahon. Tell him, because I would push Stevie Richards.
I think anytime he's ever been given anything where he had promo time and stuff to get over.
Yeah, he can get over anywhere, and maybe they look at him as a go-to guy. Like, all right, if nothing else works, we'll put Stevie in the position because we know he can get it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got another caller here. Who is this?
Hello?
Yep, you're on the air with us, Steve.
Hey, this Kid Zombie from the Figure 4 Weekly Board. What's up, guys?
Hey, man. How's it going? Yeah, you're on air with Steve Corino. Good question?
Yeah, Steve, as far as the World 1 U.S., are there any plans to have shows outside of Pennsylvania?
We have World 1 South, which is that's in Georgia, and that's my partner, Cody Peterman. We also do stuff a couple times a year in Bay City, Michigan. And through Steve Goff, who's a good friend of mine, and is also a World 1 ring announcer in Pennsylvania because Bobby Cruz left me to go to bigger paydays with ROH. But, no, I love Bobby. But yeah, you know what? Right now we're going to concentrate on Pennsylvania. We're going to try and do more stuff in the country towns, whether it be like a Lancaster or a Pottstown or even up north, the Pocono area and stuff like that, and really concentrate on that. Maybe some New Jersey and stuff like that. But I would definitely want to keep it in the tri-state area because I hate driving. Let's be honest, I hate driving. If I had my choice, I would sit the ring out in my backyard, and when my music would come on, I would just walk out back, do my match, come right back home and watch Law and Order. But for the most part, for a marketing way, I do that. So I try and keep the shows all around the tri-state area, and it'd be good because all our shows here are raising money for the Magic Foundation. So I got to keep them pretty close.
Cool. Do you have plans to push Larry Sweeney?
Oh, absolutely. Larry Sweeney is one half of the PWF Tag Team Champions with King Kalua, who is actually one of my trainers. And what's great is King Kalua has been wrestling for 24 years, and he's like a local legend here. And Sweeney's only been alive for like 21 or 22 years. And it's like watching a 43-year-old Kalua and a 22-year-old Sweeney. And they try and play off each other. Like Sweeney's almost like a mini-me to Kalua, and then throws his own stuff in, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Well, Sweeney's like the rebirth of Eddie Gilbert. He's that type of talent.
Yeah, you know what? That's a very, very good comparison.
Yeah, very good. Good stuff. Question for Jack.
Okay.
Did you happen to see the Bryan and Vinny battle DVD?
No, I haven't actually. I've seen some of the best of it. I haven't seen the video.
Oh, good stuff, man. That's indie-rific.
All right, I'll
indie-rific. I love that term. That should be in the dictionary. Indie-rific.
Can I put out a quick plug, guys?
Sure.
www.f4wonline.com. Come and join the Empire.
What is it?
That's with the number 4, right?
I think that Alvarez has to start throwing out some more in-your-head plugs over there at the old Empire.
Once you say the 4, that's when you go, oh, no, it's this, again.
With the number 4. Exactly, much like World1Wrestling.com, with the 4, and then there's the 1 in World1Wrestling.com.
Yep, and you know what? And we got DVDs on there. I mean, it's everything. A whole plethora of stuff.
Yeah, you can buy stuff, you can check stuff out, find about the new card this weekend. There's one I wanted to ask you about is Baby Doll recently came back to wrestling. Have you ever worked with her? She
I met her once. I met her once. I'm a big mark for her because I definitely believe that with valets, she's the person to watch because, you know, and I sat with Tully Blanchard when I wrestled him last year. I sat with Tully and I was asking him a million questions. You know, halfway through I did ask for his autograph, but I was asking a million questions, and one of the questions was Baby Doll's involvement. And he always said that, you know, she got wrestling. Like, she knew where to be, when to be, why she was there, what she was doing. Like, she filled in all the answers. And, you know, she should be teaching today's girls that are doing ballet stuff what to do, when to be there, and, you know, make it a reason why the girls are out there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Any fans of Baby Doll, check out InYourHeadOnline.com because she's on our message board.
Oh, I'm going to go on there now.
Hey, interact with Baby Doll.
And Steve Corino now.
InYourHeadOnline.com, right?
Right.
That's right.
I wonder if I can get there from World One Wrestling.
I'm sure.
I don't know. Is there a link there?
If not, there should be.
Yeah, I was say, what's that?
We'll just, maybe Barbie can sing while he checks out the website.
Maybe. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
Oh, alright. Alright, man. We'll let everybody again. It's World1Wrestling.com. Big show this weekend. Anything you want to say before I let you?
And you can get World 1 and 01 DVDs on that site. Official one.
Right. And the tickets are bad. $15 for ringside. You get the combo price, $25 for ringside for both shows.
Yeah. Save yourself $5.
Mm-hmm. And if you mention In Your Head, they're the same price.
Yeah, but you know what? It'd be great because I'd like to. If you mention In Your Head Radio, then I'll be real happy. Plus, I'll know that you guys were, you know, people were listening.
Right.
And then I'll take you guys to be on the show next month.
Oh man. All right. Anything you want to throw out there before I let you go?
Well, World1Wrestling.com. No, but definitely, if you guys come and come to the show, help out the Magic Foundation. It's an awesome foundation. You can read more about it on the website. And you know, it's just a great show, and it's the rebirth or destruction. And it looks like, you know, with the way ticket sales going, it's definitely a rebirth of World 1. And I'm very excited. My wife, me, and you know, we've worked really hard for it, and we're really proud of what we're going to put on Sunday.
Cool. Well, we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much for your help.
Oh, anytime, man.
This is the Enforcer, C.W. Anderson, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com, and I listen to it because I'm an Anderson.